And it'll basically just be a video podcast, if that's okay with you.
I'm fine. And this is a very important and interesting topic for today.
It's one of my favorite topics, actually.
And it happened every minute, every day in everybody's life, basically, right?
Interestingly enough, I've conquered the negative self-talk for fasting and diet and nutrition and exercise, but I can't seem to get it out of my life in other areas.
It's a lifelong training, you know.
It is, and we just listened to a podcast with Sarah Blakely and Tony Robbins, and
impressive, very good inspiration.
Very inspirational. And Sarah Blakely, of course, is the owner of Spanx, and she just sold the company for $1.2 billion. And Tony Robbins is pretty much the king of helping you get rid of negative self-talk. And it was a very good podcast. And so we're having a podcast now. So let's get started. Welcome to the viewers, and we are glad that you're here. My lovely wife made this presentation, so I hope you enjoy it. Today's topic is sabotage and negative self-talk. I am M. David Peterson, and this is my wife, Jacie Peterson.
Jacie Peterson, that's me, right here.
We have been fasting and coaching for over 5 years, and we do something that is called SuperFasting. This is a picture of me before SuperFasting, and this is a picture of JC before SuperFasting. And look at how fat we were. I mean, we were fat.
Yeah, but at that time we didn't realize. See, that's a problem. Sometimes we might think, okay, yeah, I'm a little bit fat now, but I can't accept that, because at that moment you never know how well you can do, how better you can be. Only when you get to the next level, right? Then you look back, then you start to realize, oh my God, I couldn't believe that I was fat at that time,
Absolutely, and people are so nice. I mean, people were telling me, you're fit. I'd say I want to lose weight, and they'd be like, oh no, you don't need to lose weight. You're fit. I didn't realize that I was that fat.
And people tend to use one word to describe, to make you feel better. Oh, you look cute, because you're like cute baby, like that. You're chubby. It's like a baby. So they tend to use you're cute to describe, right? People are a little bit like that.
Well, you were cute, and and I didn't realize how chubby you were, but you were cute even then. So, but then we have the after SuperFasting, and this was several years. We dropped the weight pretty quickly. Within a year, we dropped most of our weight, and then we started working out. So that's the SuperFit part of SuperFast, SuperFit. I'm noticeably different there, and you're noticeably thinner there.
Yeah, and the highlight is we maintained. We never really go back to the before picture, that kind anymore, right? We maintained.
Yes.
We get better and better, because now we are more muscular than the after SuperFasting picture here. But we never gained those weight back. So that's the amazing thing about this lifestyle,
We dropped the weight within a year. We became healthier. We have kept the weight off for 5 years.
So we have 3 questions here. Number 1, and many people ask this question also. Why did you write the book SuperFast, Fasting for SuperHealth?
Why I wrote the book is to help people live this just amazing lifestyle.
So basically you answer your second question. Why do you want people to know about SuperFasting? I want to help people. Okay.
Yes, and I think the third question is kind of in there also. It's an amazing lifestyle, and you have so much energy.
I just want to help people to be successful with SuperFasting, rather than they just started to try and they have no idea and they just fail and they drop it. They will never have a chance to really benefit from this lifestyle because they didn't have our help. So we want to help people to be successful with it. That's why.
So what is super fasting, intermittent fasting, plus one long-term fast every 3 months? That's super fasting. So sabotage and negative self-talk, as I'm coaching them, when I heard people say stuff like, I can't do it, or they have to be perfect at it. So if they fall off the wagon, we actually sabotage ourselves with this negative self-talk. And it's because society has taught us to do that. And there are very good reasons that I go into in my book, because food companies, they don't want us to fast. Pharmaceutical companies don't want us to fast. If you fast, your body heals itself, and then you're not sick. You don't have to go to the doctor. You've got super immunity. And they don't want you to have that because they're not going to make money off of healthy people. That's self-sabotage, negative self-talk. And then we have other people who are in our lives that will sabotage us. They might have the best of intentions. They might have the worst of intentions. It's usually the people who love us. They think that fasting is dangerous, which we covered in another workshop, that fasting is not dangerous. They sabotage us unwittingly. They think they're doing something good for us.
When we talk about people who are around us, most of the time are our friends or family members, actually people who really care about us, when they sabotage us, it could stop us from being successful. It could hurt us. It could easily talk us out of some goal we want to achieve, right? And then I told my mom, I want to get more muscles. And my mom was like, the first thing she said, the first thing in her mind. So that's a great thing also, because people we love or people who love us, they have no problem to speak out what's on their mind, right? So the first thing she said was, why do you want muscles? You are so short. Why do you want muscles? So I was like, what is to do with being short? So I want to have muscles. I want to look more fit. I want to look more healthy. Why it has anything to do with being short? So if I'm short, I cannot have muscles. Okay, so I try to understand why she gave me that comment, but that actually is a comment to sabotage me, because they want to talk me out of heavy muscles as a woman, right? She didn't realize that. She was just speaking out of her what's on her mind. So that's why I think in her mind at that moment was my head, my small feminine Chinese face on some kind of muscular Arnold kind of a body, right? This kind of muscle on me. So of course she cannot connect these two. Sure, it will look very weird on me. So now I understand why my mom had that question, because she saw that easily, like for me, easily I can get some kind of body like that if I work out. Again, I have a strong will. I know what I want. I know I will not look like that. And I also talked to Mark about this. What's the possibility that I can look like that? It's basically impossible for me. Then after I work out and together with our diet, I started to show some muscles. Then my mom said, oh, you have muscles. Actually, it looks good. See, this is the point. We need to prove to people before we give up, before we got influenced by whatever they say, the negative stuff they say. We need to keep strong. We need to show, give them proof, give them evidence to show that actually we are doing the right thing. See, that's the thing. Before we stop doing what we want to do.
So I just want to say for everybody who's watching this video, this is not Jacie. This is not how she looks. She just made this as a picture, but she does have muscle. It would take years for us to look like that, and steroids and stuff.
And we don't take steroids. That's why we will not look like that.
That is correct. At the end of this, she's going to talk about the reasons that people sabotage your diet, and then I'll talk about why people sabotage your fasting and what to do about it. Here we go. Trisha Nelson is her name, so we got to give her credit. Here she goes.
Okay, here's a good one. Dear Trisha, I've been doing my best to treat myself with care over the past several months. I've noticed, however, that a few of my friends and family members are subtly trying to sabotage my success. They bake me cookies, they don't honor my requests for specific foods when I eat at their homes, and they don't acknowledge the effort I'm making to lose weight and be healthy. These are the same people who used to bug me about doing something positive for myself. Why the sabotage? That's from Disappointed in Delaware. Dear Disappointed, this problem is actually quite common. In fact, in a survey of 1,200 people on ediets.com, 51% of the people polled said that their friends and family actually served them high-fat, off-limit food when they were trying to diet and lose weight. And 62% said their weight loss efforts were more successful when they didn't tell anybody about the fact that they wanted to lose weight. So, what I want to share about this with you is that your friends and family may be the ones in the role of trying to get you to do something. They're taking care of you, they're taking charge, they're trying to really motivate you. And when you finally get motivated, they might feel a little bit like their role is being taken away from them. They kind of feel uneasy and unsure of themselves because they were the ones in charge and you were kind of the pathetic one. And now you're standing up and saying, okay, I'm going to do it. And they might feel like, well, where do I stand in this picture now? That's a very subtle psychological energy that might be going on. Now, another thing that might be happening is if they have weight issues themselves, they might feel a little threatened if you're starting to lose weight. And what it means is that they feel like they should be doing it too, and if they're not, they feel guilty and embarrassed. So the best thing they could do is pull you down so they don't have to feel those feelings anymore. Now, I don't mean they're doing this consciously. They love you, of course, they want what's best for you. But when their emotions get involved, they might start to get a little strange and start to want to sabotage your success. So what's best is if you don't go announcing that you're on a diet. I mean, after all, has that ever worked in the past? No. Diets don't work, and announcing that you're on a diet only sets you up for failure. Everybody's watching you, everybody's seeing if you're going to do it. They're kind of, if they have issues themselves, they're kind of hoping you don't. And so just keep it quiet. If you want to be healthy, if you want to turn over a new leaf of health and self-care, just do it. Make it a pact between you and your higher self and enjoy the ride.
So there you go. She even said diets don't work, but fasting does. She didn't say fasting does. We're saying fasting does. And like with your mom, her role giving you sustenance and keeping you alive, you were taking that role away from her by denying eating her dishes. I had one friend who said, oh, is that safe? And just trying to put that doubt in your mind, people saying stuff like, I could never fast. Do you want to eat something? And I'd be like, oh, I'm fasting. And why are you fasting? And I came up with, and I think this works, I wrote this in my book, the doctor ordered it. Now, even though no doctor ordered me to fast, I tell them that, and it's automatic. Oh, okay. And they drop it. And that's kind of nice, but they'll keep at you if you don't eat what they're asking.
My neighbors noticed that I lost a lot of weight. So they asked me, and at that moment, I didn't know. I just want to share the good things. I want people to know so they can lose weight, they can be healthier. So I didn't know at that time. Many people were not ready for this. So when they saw me lost the weight, so they asked me like, what's going on? What happened? What do you do? So I said, I fasted. Like I didn't eat. And at that time, back in China, many people actually knew about fasting, okay, because we had this in our tradition. So, but still, they asked me, why did you fast? So I was like, okay, now I know they will say something that probably will want to stop me from doing it. So I said, well, for health, which is true because fasting makes us much healthier. So I said for health. Then the next thing they said was, so what's wrong with you? What's your problem? So they think we are using fasting to cure some. We are actually getting the toxin out of our body, but it's not because I'm sick that I started to fast.
You weren't sick. You weren't any more sick than somebody your age who was a little overweight. Even if we're not visibly ill, we do accumulate toxins, and then the fasting gets the toxins out. And then if you're my age, because I was 52 when I started super fasting, I had osteoarthritis, so my knee, the cartilage in my knee basically wore away. And I had ulcerative colitis, so I had sores all throughout my intestines, and those have gone away. So I could tell somebody like that, well, I'm doing it because I have these two illnesses, but they've gone totally away now, and that's the nice thing. But people don't think calorie restricted diets are unsafe or dangerous, but they think that fasting is dangerous. So they actually think they're doing you a favor by trying to sabotage you. Your mom actually thought you were going to die when you first started, right? You should tell as few people as possible because they will hound you. They just won't let it go. They'll keep on saying, oh, are you still doing that?
We got several people asking about this. Are you still doing it? You're still doing it? Like that, right? They don't believe this is a lifestyle. That's the thing. I do think that people should talk with others, but only talk with people who are fasting with experience also.
Other people who are fasting.
Yes, so they can understand and they can help each other and share experience. I think that's important also. Just don't try to tell people who have no idea about that or not open enough to know anything about fasting, because they'll definitely try to sabotage you.
Yeah, like I had a coworker who I had told one day I was kind of angry about what was going on at work, and he said, "Oh, are you fasting?" And I said, "No, well, as a matter of fact, I am, but that's not why I'm angry." And people think that you're going to get very irritable and angry when you fast because that's what they've felt. They've skipped a meal and they've been angry or hangry. People call it hungry and angry. Yeah. Once you get past that month and you don't have any hunger anymore, then you don't have any reason to be angry or you're not hungry. You're not any more moody than somebody else who's eating. It's just better not to tell people that you don't need to tell, because you will feel, if you start fasting, especially SuperFast, you're going to feel superior to people. You're going to be like, hey, I go for an entire day without eating. That's pretty impressive. And you're going to feel the satisfaction of the weight coming off. And it'll come across as bragging, and then people will try and pull you down.
For that lady, that they will feel guilty because they feel like, oh, maybe I should do this, but I don't really want to do it. So now I'll feel bad, right?
Exactly.
Psychology.
Negative self-talk. A little bit more about this. Even saying, oh, I could never fast. It's not true. It's negative. It's what we tell ourselves, but we have to stop telling ourselves that. Human beings are actually designed to fast. We survived as a species because we can go for longer periods of time without food. To say I can't fast is to say I'm not human. So once you know that we do fast, you can stop saying that and you can say I can fast, and then you'll do it.
Or they say I'm not ready. That's most used excuse, right? I'm not ready, or I will try. I hope.
I will try.
I will try. Yeah.
Exactly.
Basically, I will try. Basically, set the bar there. Like, okay, maybe I don't. Maybe there'll be a lot of maybes there.
Yeah. I think I'll fast next Tuesday because I have the day off. So I think I'll fast then. Well, Tuesday comes. You think about it. And you go, no, I don't want to. Or I'll try to fast on Saturday. And then
you prepare yourself a way out already, right?
It's one of the hardest things that people have to overcome. And I try and tell them, I've had a few people who have gotten upset with me when I said, you can't talk to yourself that way. You've got to say, I will fast. I'm going to wake up. I'm not going to eat anything. I'm only going to drink water, coffee, or tea. And I'm not going to eat until the next day. When you start talking to yourself that way, and I can't fast, then you will. You do it because you don't give yourself an option. That's really, if you say I'll try or I think I will, you're giving yourself option. And then it's I fell off the wagon. Well, that's kind of negative self-talk because maybe you had a splurge. Well, we have splurge built into our program. So we splurge every Saturday. We don't fall off the wagon because that's victim talk. That's negative self-talk. It's making yourself into a victim. It's how we talk about the diets. But we decide consciously to get off the wagon, and then we decide consciously to get back on the wagon. So we have a splurge day on Saturday. We eat a few foods that might not be considered healthy. The next day, we know we're either going to eat healthy or we're going to fast. And we just do it. There's no question about it. So we never say, oh, we fell off the wagon. We had a splurge. We had a cheat day or whatever you want to call it. Here we go. I can't. Well, if you just take off the you've got I can't. And that's really how you have to talk to yourself and trash your negative self-talk. I've taught this to a few people and they benefited from it. We benefit from it. We understand.
Sometimes it's unconsciously, like actually today we listened to that podcast, right? Basically they said we do this negative self-talk is only because we have this fear, right? Fear in us. We fear a lot of things actually in our life. We fear things we don't know. We fear we cannot control the situation. We fear how people judge us. That's a big one, because everybody, even us, sometimes we care how people look at us, how people judge us, right? We are still working on this.
And there's also another fear, the fear of failure. So
that's the next thing I want to say. Exactly. That's the thing. And then you'll feel disappointed. You feel embarrassed. All of these kind of things. Actually, those things are all part of the negative thoughts. Right? Yeah.
So especially if you've announced to people, oh, I think I'm gonna fast on Tuesday, and they go, oh, that's great, you're gonna be wonderful, and then it doesn't happen because you didn't word it correctly, and you have to go back and tell these people, oh, I didn't fast, so you failed, and so you don't tell people. You say, I'm committed to this, and you do it, and you feel better about yourself, and you don't need to tell anybody else because it's self-satisfaction.
And in the end, the result will show itself. People will be like, oh, I see the change in you, right? Then you can tell them what you did, because at time you are used to this lifestyle already. You are not afraid to be sabotaged out of it, right? So before that, just make commitment to yourself. It's between you, like what that lady said, between you and your higher self, your better self. It's the commitment between you and yourself. You are trying to get better, right?
Right. And people want to get better. I mean, I had a young man tell me, he said, oh, I hope to use your program to lose some kilograms. I just knew that, he hopes, and I want to pull him aside and say, don't hope, do it. So this is my book, SuperFast, Fasting for SuperHealth. It's on Kobo.com. Here is the link to that book, a little blurb that I wrote for the book. If you want to learn more about fasting, please feel free. It's a good companion to help you get through the whole ordeal and come out that after the month and feel good. And then you can follow us on the SuperFast SuperFit website, small s, superfastsuperfit.com. And the Facebook, we have SuperFast SuperFit. You can follow M. David Peterson. Feel free to follow us, and see you next Wednesday. Any last words?
I think you said all.
Okay.
I hope this video can help people to be out of the negativity zone and started to be positive about everything. It feels good, Be confident.
Just start fasting. Just do it. Thanks for being here, and we will see you next week. Bye-bye. Happy fasting.